right, this is Jay, formerly from Snyder National, now with KLLM, Clem. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, Facebook. What's up? It's been a while since I did a video. Man, it's a lot to talk about, but I'm not gonna try to put it all out in one video. I'm gonna do a series of videos. Let me start out by saying that let's start out with lease purchase, since that's what I'm doing with KLM, KLLM, Clem. With trucking, especially you guys just getting into trucking, there's three, I would consider three different categories. You got company drivers, you got lease purchase, and you got owner operators. Okay. Now I've heard a lot about lease purchase. Bad thing, don't do it. The payments are ridiculous. You'll never get out of the lease. You get this big balloon payment after you pay all this money off. And most of the cries have been coming from owner operators because they are the lucrative. They are the top, the cream of the crop. They make a decent salary off of the loads that they carry. So they look at lease purchase as, why in the world would you want something like that when you're paying these high payments and you're only getting a percentage of the pie? So I understand, you know. But for some people, that's the only way they can get into a truck. So let me start out with company driver. Start out a company driver. And let me first say, before you even try to do a lease purchase or try to do an owner operator, get your own truck, I would highly recommend trying it for about 6 months. I don't like to put a number on it because, I look at company driver, from company driver to lease purchase as an advancement, and from lease purchase to owner operator as an advancement in trucking. And I never ever want to tell anybody put a limit on advancement. Some people learn things faster than others. Some people are in the fast lane. Some people have people in their family that are already into trucking, already own trucking company, so they can get into trucking a lot faster. So I don't like to put numbers on it. Everybody says, "Oh, you need to drive for 2 or 3 years before you decide to get your own truck. You don't know anything." Who's to say that? You know. When it comes to advancement, sky's the limit. Get as fast as you can. I don't have a problem with it. There's a problem with advancing too fast. There's a lot of things you don't learn, and you could fall real hard. But I'm always for advancement. Do whatever you can to get to that next level. That's my motto. All right, start out with company driver. Start out a company driver, drove for 4 to 6 months, and when you get your out of trucking school, you're gonna get your first truck, which is gonna be real interesting. um, in the trucks I've always turned in, I've always tried to turn in a clean truck. That aggravates the heck out of me to turn in a dirty truck. So anybody who's ever gotten a truck from me that I've turned in, it was always clean. Because every truck that I've gotten was garbage. Every single one of them. So I didn't want somebody to go through what I had to go through when they got their first truck or whatever, whoever's getting the truck after me. There's trash all over the floor, there's the steering wheel's dirty and nasty, the dash is so nasty, there's dirt all on the floor, and everything that was on the outside is in the inside. I mean, it It can get pretty bad. So I always, and plus when truckers leave, usually they're quitting, got fired, or they really don't care. I always tried to, it didn't matter what the situation was, I always tried to keep a clean truck when I gave it to somebody else, because I'm saying somebody's going to get in this truck and I don't want them to have to deal with having to clean it out and being nasty. Alright, so as a company driver, you're going to have to deal with, getting your first truck. You may get a brand new one if you luck out. But most likely you're going to probably get maybe a used 2015 that gets some miles, 14, 13, maybe even 12, 11, or even 10 or 9, 2009. So it's all depending on what they have in the inventory and what trucking company you go with. So just keep that in mind when you get your first truck. As a company driver, you're gonna have to learn how to deal with they call them DBLs, DMs, driver manager, whatever you want to call them. The guy who gives you your load. He's basically your boss. One of the biggest things I hear from a lot of truckers, I talk to, is that DMs just don't understand them. They think they don't have a life. You talk to a DM and you say, hey, I have a doctor's appointment and I need to get home. Oh, that's trucking. Everybody needs to get home. No, I have an appointment I need to get to, or I have a court date I got to go to, or I have a child support court thing. I got to try to get custody of my children. They're trying to up my child support. There's some reason or something you may need to get home, and they just it's like you asked them. It's like you asked them for their firstborn child. If you asked them to go home and take care of some matters, and that just is so crazy and ridiculous to me that you get those type of responses from your DBLs or your DMs or whatever. But that's some of the things you'll probably go through as a company driver. Live loads, unloads, sitting there all day, waiting to get unloaded, waiting to get loaded up. The DM may give you a load that's already late. It was supposed to be 2 hours ago. And you get to the customer, and the customer's looking at you like you're crazy. What took so long? It was already late when I got it. And hopefully they won't cancel it while you're on your way delivering it and tell you to take it back. That's another animal. So those are some of all the things you're going to deal with trucking. And that's why I said you need to try it for 6 months so that you know how bad it can be. And when you get to lease purchase or owner operator, you can really appreciate some of the advantages that you have. Nothing wrong with company driver. Usually company drivers start out 26 cents a mile to 35, 40 cents a mile, but most likely you're going to start out around in the 20s, mid-20s, mid-30s, so depending on the company. And you get your truck and you're not going to be able to put anything in it. They don't want you to touch it. And they're going to be just completely plain. That's another thing with company drivers. You can't touch a truck, you can't put a refrigerator in, you can't put an inverter, you can't put this in, you can't put that in it. So those are some of the things you're going to run into. Now, with lease purchase, you have a little bit more freedom. With lease purchase, you're going to make a little bit more money. Some of the biggest things I hear about lease purchase is that you're stuck with this payment, and if you can't make the payment, they take the truck back, and then you're screwed and all this other stuff. If you get with a good lease purchase program, most of them are turn-in leases. You're leasing the truck, and if for some reason you don't want the truck anymore, you just turn it in, give them a 30-day notice, and turn it in just like you turn in your company truck. No harm, no fault, no money owed. A lot of the lease purchase, you lease them for a certain period of time, and the truck is yours. No balloon payment or anything. Those are good lease purchase programs. And it's a way for drivers to get into the making more money and getting a little bit more freedom without taking on that responsibility of uh, buying or purchasing a major purchase, which trucks run you around $150,000 to $200,000. That's a lot of money for anybody to try to purchase who's just getting into trucking, for your first job. So I don't think lease purchase is all that bad. Of course, owner operator, that's the cream of the crop. The best way to do it is to buy your own truck. You buy your own truck, you can go with any company you want to. You can call Swift, Warner, Snyder, Western, anybody. Clint, KLLM, Clem. You can call any of these trucking companies. Barnum, there's many trucking companies you can call, and all of them will tell you the same thing. You got your own truck? When you want to run. That's basically what they're going to tell you. And a lot of them is like, hey, you run one freight for me a month, you can stay active with me. As long as you're ready to run freight, I'll send it to you. Because there's no loss to them. They don't have to deal with the maintenance costs. They don't have to deal with the fuel charge. They don't have to pay taxes on the equipment. They don't have to deal with the liability, insurance, and all that other stuff. So they love it. Great deal for them. And for owner operators, it's a great deal because you're going to get a certain percentage of the load. So you can pick how much income you make per week, and you're going to get a certain percentage, usually around 70 or percent to 80%. And once you pay your note or insurance and everything else, the rest is yours. Same thing with lease purchase. The only difference with lease purchase is because you're not putting up anything to get into the truck, the payments are higher. A lot higher than you would if you bought your own truck. And with lease purchase, that company owns that truck. The whole time you're leasing, that truck belongs to that company. You want to go somewhere else, you're going somewhere else without your truck. That truck belongs to them. So, those are the difference between owner-operator, lease purchase, and company drivers. And then, like I said, I'm not totally against lease purchase because I'm doing it. But the best way to go is owner-operator. And get with a company that is going to give you a good percentage, and a company that has a high percentage of owner-operators that you're dealing with. Because one of the things you don't want to deal with is you don't want to be an owner-operator working for a company that has company drivers, and you're competing with company drivers to get loads. Who you think going to get the load? They're not going to tell you that they're giving all the good loads to the company driver, but basic economics will tell you that they make money off of loads, so they're going to give their company drivers the best loads. So there's companies out there like Landstar comes to one, JB Hunt comes up. There's another one I can think of that pretty much 100% owner operators, and you deal with other owner operators for free, and you don't have to compete with someone who's going to definitely take care of itself first. So that's the basic lowdown on owner operators, lease purchase, and company drivers. I got a lot more videos. I got a lot more to say, man. It's been a while since I did a video. Give a shout out to some of my other comrades on YouTube, Diva, Casanova. There's a guy that does the Big Haul. I've been watching some of y'all videos, keeping it real. And for you guys out there on YouTube, the weather is pretty dangerous out there. It's bad all over. Like I always say, there's a term in the military we used to use, slow but steady wins the race. And that's trucking in a handful. Slow but steady wins the race. Be safe, take your time, get out and look as much as possible, and slow down on those roads, especially in this type of weather and this type of winter. And so this is Jay with KLLM Clem on his first lease purchase. And peace. I'm out here. I got freight to